Welcome back to AM Northwest. With the stress of virtual school and so much uncertainty in the world, a teen's mental health should be top priority right now. Here to share his always helpful insights and advice, we welcome back parenting expert Yishai Busi. Good morning, Yishai. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Hi, Helen.
So there really is so much going on, especially for teenagers. Oh my gosh, it's got to be so difficult. But you have 5 pillars that all adolescents need to stay, that what they need right now. And one of the first ones is sleep.
That's right. Yes. So adolescent mental health is an issue. It's been for a while, but it's really exacerbated right now. This is a hard time for all of us. But teenagers are really, many of them are really struggling. One of the number one things, this has always been a case, but is more of an issue now, we need to prioritize sleep. Adolescents need 9+ hours of sleep a night. Another thing that's important to note, sleep is a time when memory and learning is consolidated. Adolescents have plastic brains, they're malleable, they learn better, and sleep time is when they do that. Another thing that's important to know is that adolescent circadian rhythm is 2 hours later than adults.
Oh.
So what that means is when we're getting tired, they still got another couple hours before they're going to get tired. So that also is true on the other end. So they still have melatonin in their system in the morning when they're trying to get up for school in many cases. So asking a teenager to get up at 7 is like asking an adult to get up at like 5.
Wow.
So understanding that can really be helpful. Of course, devices are an issue too that keeps kids up later. But that's a whole nother conversation. But we need to rein in devices, try to turn those in, have them get off them an hour or so before they go to bed, prioritize sleep.
Okay, and then you say movement is important too.
Yeah, so movement is not just a luxury, it's not just a nice thing, it's not just about some people are into exercise and some people aren't. Trauma, the experience of trauma is an experience of being immobile, of being unable to move. And frozen. So when we're not moving our body, our brain often associates that experience as trauma. Our brain starts to feel more anxious and worried when we're not moving. So of course, exercise is really important, exertion if possible, but even stretching and walking is really essential. If we want our adolescents to have healthy brains that work better and function better under stress, we really need to prioritize them moving every day.
What about connecting with friends? Because it seems like it's harder. It is harder, just as it doesn't seem. It is harder for them to connect with other friends, especially in person. How important is that connection to peers and other friends and family members? And
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We know this. Teens, this is an age, adolescence, where friends are a priority. It really bumps up. And this is a big loss. There's just no way around it. And it's extra challenging because some families and teenagers are really trying to social distance and they're on social media and they're seeing friends who aren't social distancing and they're hanging out.
Yeah.
And they can feel even worse. So talk to your kids about how it is missing your friends. And then we got to get really creative to give them outlets to see their friends. Some kids will social distance or quarantine for a week or two with their best friend who does it, and then they get together for a week or two and like basically live together and do school together. We got to get really creative to use social distancing. But I don't want to focus as much. Sometimes we over focus on peers. Yes, super important. But you know what's also really important? Family relationships.
Yeah.
More than ever. Kids need a safe and grounding connection with parents. We need to prioritize that with them. They also need connection with other adults. One of the hard things about this time is adolescents are missing connection with those other adults that they would often have in the community, coaches, teachers, sometimes religious leaders. So much as a therapist, when I see teenagers, I'll often say things that their parents have said 100 times. But I'll say it and they'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
And you also talk too about the importance of creativity. And do we need to take away the phones in order for kids to be creative?
Not necessarily. Sometimes. And I think there need to be breaks from phone and from device use. The whole family needs breaks. They need to be carved out. Before bedtime is good. Finding times throughout the day to get off the devices. But there's ways that creativity exists on devices as well.
Sure, sure.
So it could be coding or editing videos. So creativity fosters autonomy and independence. It's an original way of self-expression. It uses a different part of our brain that helps integrate all of that linear analytical stuff that's happening in school. So creativity can involve, it's not just about art. It can involve baking and cooking, playing music, making music, dancing. So it's really an important part of having a whole integrated brain that works well and leads to more happiness.
Absolutely. Yishai, thank you so much. We didn't get to everything, but we'll put it all on our website at KHU.com.